Every 4 years, Californians get to make a choice about who should be the state's superintendent of public instruction. This person serves as the chief spokesperson for public schools, grades K through 12. They also provide direction to local school districts. The choices this year are incumbent Tony Thurmond and challenger Lance Christensen. Our Daniela Pardo spoke with them both.
Democratic incumbent Tony Thurmond is running for a second term, facing off Republican Lance Christensen in the race for California superintendent. During his first term, Thurmond was in charge of leading the state's public schools during the pandemic.
The pandemic put a spotlight on some major disparities, like the fact that 1 million students went into the pandemic without a computer or access to high-speed internet.
Thurmond says he's proud of his efforts to secure funding for broadband infrastructure, as well as his work to close the digital divide by helping California families access low-cost, high-speed internet during distance learning.
I want to move beyond just getting resources. I want to move to the point where we can show that we move things in a positive direction for our students. Let's increase our graduation rates that have been lagging for decades. Let's lower chronic absenteeism, improve test scores.
Part of his proposals include recruiting 10,000 mental health professionals to work at public schools and offering a $25,000 scholarship for those pursuing a degree in counseling.
No other state in the nation has laid out a plan as bold as recruiting 10,000 counselors. California is going to lead, and that means our kids are going to be healthier and they're going to be more successful academically.
Prior to becoming superintendent, Thurmond spent 4 years working as an assemblyman. Christensen also spent several years in the legislature working for different members. His last job at the Capitol was chief of staff for former state senator John Morlock from Orange County.
When he left the legislature in 2020, I moved over to the California Policy Center, where I am the Vice President of Education Policy and Government Affairs.
While most of his career has been behind the scenes, Christensen explains he decided to run for superintendent because he's fed up with the current state of our public school system.
If I were to win the election, I'd do 3 things. One, the first position I would hire would be a parent's rights advocate, a chief deputy to intercede on all issues.
Christensen adds he would like to perform a kids first audit of the Department of Education and work on building better relationships with local leaders.
We have 944 school districts. We have 58 boards of education. So engaging with all the superintendents and trustees of those areas to talk about how we can be better partners and that we can allow for more local control over issues that are important to them.
The father of 5 believes in enhancing subjects like math in the school curriculum instead of adding ethnic studies like his opponent has advocated.
Let's not have parents or teachers especially and administrators who really feel like it's their job to make a cultural push and politicize kids. Let's pull the politics away from schools and make sure they're learning the basics.
Christensen's endorsements include the Orange County Register, Patriots for Freedom, and the California Republican Party. As for Thurmond's, he's backed by the LA Times, the California Teachers Association, and Planned Parenthood.
And Daniela joins us now live from Sacramento with more. I mean, Daniela, this is so fascinating. Superintendent of instruction races used to kind of be a big snooze fest, but now nationwide, we're hearing more and more about these races, in no small part because of parents' frustrations during the pandemic. What did the incumbent, Tony Thurmond, have to say on that front?
Yeah, Alex. Well, he said that parents have the right to be frustrated. He said they should be upset. And he wasn't just criticized by parents, like you mentioned, but his opponent said that was one of the main reasons that he decided to join the race. He mentioned having a lot of friends that decided to move out of state because they just weren't happy with the way that the public schools were run. But he says he decided to stay because he believes that he is the right person to move our public schools in a different direction. But Thurmond says that ultimately he is a guy with the experience and the relationships. He's close with the governor and the legislature. He's backed by the teachers union, and Christensen is a tough and open critic of them. And he is all about giving school districts and each area local control back. That's what he wants to do. And he wants parents to have more of a say because he says that they've been excluded out of these conversations that have to do with their child's education.
Here in California, Republicans tend to be the underdog. A lot of them running for statewide office have been challenging their Democratic opponents for a debate. How has that been playing out?
Yeah, well, it all started with Lonnie Chen. He wants to debate his opponent, Malia Cohen. She is not interested. Then Nathan Hochman, who's running for Attorney General. He's also been ignored by the incumbent, Rob Bonta. Same thing with Thurmond. And yesterday, the governor was asked if he would debate Brian Dahle. He said he'd be happy to do it and look forward to it. We shall see, Alex. I saw that you tweeted that you would be happy to moderate any of these debates should they happen.
I'm here through November 8th. All I'm saying, Daniela Pardo, thank you so much for your report.
Thank you.